The nightmare of medieval sieges. Imagine the gates barred for a month, where silence replaces hope in a city dying from within. Welcome to a medieval siege, not a glorious battle, but a harrowing test of endurance and despair. When the army arrives, chaos ensues. Families drag all provisions inside for the long fight ahead. The enemy sets up a filthy camp filled with tents, latrines, and the ever-present threat of disease. It all starts with an ultimatum: surrender now for mercy, or face the horrors of a prolonged siege. Inside the walls, starvation becomes the first true enemy, gnawing relentlessly at the inhabitants. Rationing begins, but soon the hierarchy of hunger reveals itself, leaving the weakest in despair. As the weeks turn into months, starvation leads to unimaginable horrors. Friends and family turn to cannibalism. Thirst compounds their misery. Wells become contaminated, turning the last hope into poison. Both sides are ensnared in the same brutal cycle of starvation, battling against both hunger and disease. Disease thrives in the chaos. Sickness spreads, claiming more lives than the swords ever could. Inside the fortress, dysentery wreaks havoc, turning the once safe haven into a living hell. The attackers live in a mud-filled camp, a city of disease where death lurks around every corner. History tells of powerful armies brought to their knees, not by battles, but by rampant sickness. Psychological warfare begins. Both sides use fear, noise, and deception to break the other's spirit. The attackers unleash terror with terrifying projectiles, bodies and heads falling from the sky. Deception flies over the walls, sowing paranoia as fake news spreads among the besieged. Defenders retaliate with defiance, trying to project strength even when they're at their weakest. But beneath that facade, the toll of constant fear and waiting weighs heavily on everyone involved. When all hope fades, a relief army might just arrive, or the attack might escalate to a final assault. As the assault begins, chaos erupts, a horrid shift from waiting to violent conflict. For the attackers, the first wave is a death sentence. The forlorn hope leads the charge. Defenders unleash hell, pouring boiling water and fire on those trying to breach their walls. Siege towers become dark, claustrophobic traps, a burning death if torched before reaching the walls. Miners dig beneath the fortress, risking it all in dark, suffocating chaos for their chance to win. The moment of the breach reveals sheer nightmare. A gaping hole turns defense into a meat grinder. Inside, civilians work feverishly, terrified by the sounds of dying and screaming outside. Every siege eventually ends, but the outcome is horrifying: surrender or slaughter. A negotiated surrender means survival, but often at a horrific cost: loss of freedom and dignity. But if resistance continues to the bitter end, a storm of violence and brutality descends. In the aftermath, survivors are haunted by what they endured. Homes turn to ash, memories of horror. Both defenders and attackers emerge shattered, their armies diminished, their futures bleak. The land bears the scars: polluted fields, decaying structures, and a traumatized populace. In the end, the great truth is revealed. There are rarely winners, only varying degrees of suffering. So why did it suck to be in a medieval siege? It was a waking nightmare. Every moment was a struggle against starvation, fear, and the unknown horrors outside. The reality of siege warfare is a grim reminder of human suffering, one that echoes through time. It was a relentless assault on the body, the mind, and the soul, a true contest of misery. The siege was a dark chapter of history, where survival itself became a haunting burden. If you find this grim history fascinating, hit subscribe and join us for more uncovering tales.